Oh my
Hi,
gosh.
say.
Craig and Olga from Flexitoon. Oh,
Hi, Steve.
Hi,
hello.
Steve.
Oh my gosh. You guys are some of my favorite designers. The characters that you have created live inside of me. They are so inspirational, so wacky, so colorful. I just love your work, you guys, and I can't wait to explore that with you today.
Thank you, Steve. It's
Thank you.
our pleasure to be here with you. We haven't seen you since we were at CAX,
Yeah.
and that was one of the greatest experiences we
Oh
had.
man.
The camaraderie, the talent that was on display for everybody, and Chuck
Oh,
McCann and you as the perfect
oh,
host.
And the niceness of
Right,
everybody,
the
the
kindness,
kindness
right?
of
Yeah, it
mm,
was
everybody was just so nice to be in
it was
that.
a great,
community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
great group of people, and Mark and Tammy just were so thrilled to have
Oh,
Chuck and you guys there, and it was just overwhelming. The period of history that we were able to capture there with Chuck before he was gone from us. And we have some wonderful recordings from all of that. And you guys were just the champions and came in and helped us to get Chuck to begin with. You guys go way back. Tell us, before we start your career, tell us how you connected with Chuck.
okay. The first puppet I ever saw on TV was Paul Winchell, and I just loved Jerry Mahoney, and I knew that that was great. And so I started talking without moving my mouth when I was three
Okay.
years old. Then I saw Sandy Becker, who had a puppet that didn't have a person connected to it, so it was just a hand puppet. And so the person was removed, which freed me, and then the puppet could do so. I really loved that.
Yeah.
Then came Chuck McCann. Laurel and Hardy and
Yeah.
Chuck was the name of the show. And what could be better? These beautiful articulated puppets by Paul Ashley introducing Laurel and Hardy films.
Amazing.
So that was it, and I would just watch him all the time. Then when that show went off, he got a Sunday morning show for 4 hours on Sunday morning. Him, the cartoons, and the puppets. And then the newspapers went on strike, so he dressed up like Little Orphan Annie, Dondi, Dick
Oh, the
Tracy,
comic
and he'd
strips.
come out and he'd do crazy
And
bits
remember
dressed like
how
that.
big
Oh,
he
he's
was.
huge. Yeah.
He was huge, just
So
as Orphan Annie with
when
the
I
red
first
dress.
saw him, it's just like Orphan Annie in person instead of black and
Oh,
white. It was
oh,
startling.
how funny.
But so he'd read the comics, and the camera would go across the comic page, and he'd do all the voices. What are you talking about, Phil? I don't know. Whatever the comic is, he did that, and you know it was him doing it as Orphan
Yeah.
Annie, and it was just so inspiring. So I just got up. I'm from Queens, and the Channel 11 where his show was the Daily News building. So I just after school one day said I'm going to go meet
How
Chuck
old were you?
McCann. So I was
Oh
12.
my gosh.
So I put two puppets in a bag, and I went down to WPIX, and I went up to the gate and the front desk, which I'd seen a million times because Chuck was so smart. He knew that it wasn't just the show. He wanted to bring you into his world. So he would get off the elevator at WPIX, sing, put on a happy
Oh,
face, go down the hallway, and walk into the studio. There's the puppets, there's the
brilliant.
sets, there's the cameras. So it was just great. So I knew where to go. So I went right to her, and I said, I put the puppets on my hand after I got out of the elevator. And I said, I'm here to see Chuck McCann, like that. And she said, oh, that's nice, but he doesn't have an audience. And suddenly from behind me, I hear, what do we got over here? And I turned around, it was Chuck. And I went, my puppets. And okay, come on. He put his arm around me, took me down that
Oh my
hallway,
gosh.
and he sat me down. And there, all of a sudden, everything that was black and white was now in radiant color.
Oh,
There was the puppet set. And he said, I don't want you to do anything except laugh. I could guarantee that would happen. And then he did the show, and he had a few minutes over at the end, and he called me up and put me on camera with the puppets.
wow.
So I went home, all the neighborhood kids saw me doing the puppets. So I figured that was an invite to go there all the time. So
And what were those puppets?
one was a
that you
puppet of Flash Gordon.
made out of what?
That was made out of, like, I think I used to take toilet paper tubes and wrap it with tissue paper and then sew like a T-shirt over it because you could pull all the seams and it would conform to the shape. Then my father was a professional cartoonist,
Yes.
and he would draw the faces. So I had a Flash Gordon, and I don't remember, probably a copy of one of Chuck's puppets. So I showed him all that, and I started going down there.
A 12-year-old puppet is what
Yes,
I
yes, yes. Wow.
And I went down, and Paul Ashley liked me, and so suddenly I was able to like take the puppet and bring it over to the set.
Wow.
And one time Chuck said, "Come here, when I go like this, pull that string." So I did, and the eyebrows went up
Oh
and
my
down.
gosh.
So I was sort of like an official Apprentice, Puppeteer's Apprentice. I mostly sat there and watched.
What a
because he was very
once in a
volatile,
lifetime.
very large superstar.
That's amazing. Amazing.
And then we just kept in touch. Yeah.
Are you allowed to tell the Julio story?
No.
Well, tell us the Olga story.
I grew up in Cleveland. My parents had a sweet shop. And my first puppet show was in kindergarten. And it was,
Aww.
oh yeah, they sponsored the local bowling league and Golden Gloves and stuff, the neighborhood things. And
Your first puppet show?
oh, my first puppet show was in kindergarten. It was a Punch and Judy, and it scared the hell out of me. I hated it. I hated the hitting and throwing the baby out. And I ran to the back of the room to leave, but the teacher wouldn't let me leave. So I watched it, and afterwards, then I was fascinated with it, but I didn't like the violence. Yeah. Anyway, a few years later, I was watching television, and there was something called Susie Snowflake, and it was just this little lace doily thing on strings, and it was, here comes Susie Snowflake, dressed in her snow white gown. Anyway,
fascinating.
And I loved it, and I used to do things like that and make costumes for my dolls, and I did shows in the backyard because I could offer free refreshments to the neighborhood kids, so I'd have an audience.
But you have worked with royalty as you progressed in your puppetry. You were with Bill Baird.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, first I was with Niccolo Marionettes. That was my first.
Niccolo, okay.
Yeah, I majored in theater in college. I liked
Northwestern.
I liked acting. I loved costume design. I liked lighting. I liked all of it. So I came to New York, of course. And a friend of mine was working at this marionette company and invited me to a dress rehearsal. And I walked in and I knew it was amazing, these marionettes hanging all over, and I knew I wanted to do that for the rest of my life. I could act, I could perform, I could make the puppets, I could do costumes. I actually could make a living with Susie Snowflake. It never dawned on me as a kid that that's how you made a living, because after that, I never saw another puppet show.
With a voice to the manner born.
Oh, yeah.
As well. Bill Baird used to call it a toy voice.
Uh-huh.
So she saw Baird on TV growing up, Snarky Parker and Slugger Ryan, right? So
yeah, and I love them, but I never made the connection that I could do it.
Mm-hmm. Wow, what an inspiration!
Yeah, they were like live. In fact, I thought Slugger Ryan was live. Slugger Ryan is a puppet, but in my childhood imagination, I thought Slugger was a live person. I don't know what that says about the sanity of a kid, but anyway.
Plenty. So she auditioned for Baird. 300 girls showed up.
Oh my gosh.
She went down to audition, got scared, went home.
Oh yeah.
Came back.
Yeah, went back. Paid my subway fare. Got on the track.
25 cents, man.
I can't do this. I'm too scared. So I went home, and I thought, are you nuts? This is really what you want to do. So I got back on this, walked back to the subway, got on the subway, got there in time.
Oh, wonderful.
And got the job.
I love that you went back. That's so cool. The strength of character to know that this is my destiny. Look at that.
That's right.
Yeah, that is what I wanted to do.
If you get knocked down 8 times,
that's right.
You stand up 9.
Oh my gosh.
You're winning.
Yeah.
And so out of 300, you won probably because of your voice, right?
I don't know, but I could act. I could do costumes.
You had the whole package.
I guess I had some fringe benefits.
Yeah. And Cora had passed away, I guess, in 1967. So this was just a few years after that. So Bill was probably very lonely for a female who could really deliver the goods. And our cheap pops, And we have a beautiful poster that Bill signed over with him and Cora, Bill and Cora, to Olga, Queen of the New, all-girl girl, and Queen of the New Roost.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
So that kind of was like, here you are, you're here. So she.
It was heaven going to work there every day. Even on my day off, I went in because I was working with a genius in a legitimate beautiful
Absolutely.
marionette theater and
On
puppet
Barrows.
theater,
Oh,
all
yeah.
kinds of puppets.
Yeah.
And it was, there should be a plaque on that
Absolutely.
building.
Bill Baird was
And
an absolute master designer, marionette, incredible puppets, hand puppets. Tell me about your connection then with Henson. How did that happen?
Well, Bill's theater closed, and Jim had come to see shows at Bill's and said if I ever needed a job to call him. And so I thought, after Bill's theater closed, I did do vegetable soup.
Vegetable soup.
I did a television series to combat
cool.
racial prejudice.
Yeah.
And that was in 1976, 77, something like
Yeah,
that.
because Baird
And-
sang, yeah.
yeah.
And, Bette Midler sang
Oh,
the theme
neat.
song for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it was.
outer scope. Her segment was outer scope, and these little puppets would go into great
Cool.
travels.
Yeah, but anyway, so that ended, and then I thought, I'll start my own puppet company. And then I remembered that Jim had offered me a job, so I called up and asked him.
It just
if-
rolls
That
off
guy.
the tongue. Jim offered me a job.
Yeah, it
That's
was
so
just like,
cool.
yeah. So I came in to talk to him, and I did some Sesame Street, and then I did the first Muppet movie, and
Wow.
it was nice, but it wasn't all. I wanted
Yep.
to do my own
I do.
stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was a hard thing. Everybody's saying, "Are you crazy? You're a puppeteer. You're working for the Muppets."
No.
But
Yeah.
there are other puppets, other kinds of puppets, and
Oh my
I love
gosh. Okay, so I
marionettes.
know the intersection is coming here. So Craig, jump back in history and bring us up to speed where you guys get together.
Okay, well, when we were doing, after I kind of finished the Chuck McCann thing, I was an actor off Broadway for a while with a classic stage company, and I was learning all the things about real theater and things like that. At the same time, in high school, I had a friend named Doug, and together we discovered,
Yes.
the Grateful Dead, and all Zap Comics, and lighting effects and all that kind of stuff. And one time, she was referring to it earlier, I heard Chuck McCann curse with a puppet when I was a kid. The puppet said, "Hey," in dirty language. And I just thought, wait a minute, puppets can say anything. So that to me was the pebble on the brook towards originality. They don't have to say, "Now,
Yeah.
kids, here's Woody Woodpecker." They can say, "Hey, I got a woodpecker," if you wanted to say something like that, But that really depends upon what you wanted to do. So I wanted to do like dimensional Zap comics. So my partner and I started the Marco Puppet Theater, and we did psychedelic puppet shows across the country at colleges, and it was fantastic. There were 4 of us, 2 vans, lighting Hal Lewis Nation and Kingdom Come, and we'd roll up to a town. It was really no internet. We roll up to a town and say, "We're the Marco Puppet Theater, and we have a show," and they said, "Okay, we can do it Friday night." We do it Friday night, and it was just kind of like that. Because if we didn't, we didn't, and if we did, we did. But we did it all the way across, very itinerant. Meet you in Buffalo on Tuesday. So long. The other guys would go, and we'd go there. And it was great. Our goal, though, was to meet the Grateful Dead. We wanted to meet the Grateful Dead and be able to say, "Ah." So we got up the courage to knock on their door. We ended up in San Rafael, California, which was our goal, because that's where it was. San Rafael, Grateful Dead. And so we rang their doorbell, and my partner, Doug, says, "I'll do all the talking." And I said, "Okay." And so Rock Scully, the dead man, leans out and says yes. And Doug goes full on Gleason, like that. So I said, "We're the Marco Puppet Theater." And Rock Scully said, "Oh, I read about you. Come on in." We didn't know, but there was an article about us in the San Rafael paper. And it's right on his desk. Synchronicity, right? So as we're showing him our slides, Bob Weir walks in. Bob Weir was my hero on guitar. The reason I wanted to play music was because of Grateful Dead. And the reason I wanted to play guitar was because I identified with all the stuff Bob Weir did, And so he walked in, he saw the slides, and they said to us, "So what do you want from us?" And I said, "I just want you to know we exist." And he said, "Okay, thanks." And we went home and on the cloud. As soon as we got on the phone, rang the Jerry Garcia's birthday party on Saturday. "Do you want to do the show?" We said, "Yes, we do. We'll clear our schedule. And we will do the show." So we went out and we did it, made all the Dead, and we've been, lifelong DNA members of the Grateful Dead since.
Deadheads.
Then it was time Yeah, it was truly dream come true. They couldn't be better. They are who I believe, works for me as well,
Wow.
and the type of deadhead people are loving, kind people, and with dragons, so that's important. And but then it was time to stop doing colleges and entertain children again. And my partner and I decided we were going to leave, so we left Marco Boys there, and we came east and set up shop in New England and started touring elementary schools, writing the music, playing the school, and we had like 6, 8, 10
Wow.
shows a week sometimes for a couple of years, and it was just fantastic. Every month, fomenting of ideas. I was 21, 22 years old, so it was like, do it, we'll do it. And the two of us would work and do it, and next thing you know, we were able to do it in a show, and that led to television and commercials and all that kind of stuff. And then it just kind of got time to move on to do something else. So I left her there, and I actually went to Busch Gardens in Virginia to work with Bill
Whoa.
Baird. I did Once Upon a Dragon at Busch, and she was famous. I mean, she didn't work. She didn't work at Busch, no. But
Busch Gardens, the theater was an equity company, and Busch Gardens
Okay.
wasn't. It was amusement.
it was a sweat equity company.
Yeah, so we couldn't do it.
10 half-hour
Oh,
shows
my.
a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
It
What a
was
grind.
incredible.
But
Wow.
fun.
Wow.
Oh,
And we did. And so that's how I got to meet Bill and everything.
oh my God.
And he liked me a lot. And I made him laugh. It was called Once Upon a Drag, and I called it Once Upon a Drag Queen. He liked that very much. And then when we came, that was over, and I thought I can go any place in the world. Where am I going to go? I said, California? No, I want to be able to drum up my own work. So I went back to New York, and I'm walking near Baird's Theater to meet a friend. And he was working on the show too at Baird's, what they were working on a special. And she came walking up, and it was raining, and she was wearing a hat and everything. And I had heard of Olga Felgemacher, but I never met her. So it was like, oh, you're you. Hi, nice to see you. And she was, yeah, she was Olga. And off they went. I thought, what a girl. And then that same Christmas, I did a Christmas, which when I had just moved back to New York, and I did a Christmas show down at the Greenwich Mews Theater, and a woman named Alice Tweedy came and saw it. Alice Tweedy was the female Scred, I think it was, on Saturday Night Live. Yeah, and she had worked with Danny Seagren doing Miss Peach, doing Slim Goodbody. And then, so she saw my show and said, would you ever want to work for me? And I said, sure. So a few months later, I get a call. A puppeteer she's working with cut his thumb on a bandsaw. Can't do it. Can I come in tomorrow?
He's
good.
fine
Thank
now.
you. Good to know.
Everything is fine.
Peter Friedman.
Oh.
He's quite the actor too, Peter Friedman. But because of his accent, I came in and she was on it.
There
And
are
so
no
we read the
accidents.
script. No time to talk.
No,
No.
no.
It was
Yeah.
like the cosmos going.
There you go.
One there. Yeah. So we had no chance to talk to each other either. Next thing we know, we were on the set, and the puppets, and they were Muppety kind of puppets, but they were really talking like it was a whole other level of talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we somehow connected up there.
Oh my gosh.
And it was fun. It was fun enough. And we said, okay, see you around. She said, okay, see you around. She said, I'm going over to the Muppets. You want to come? I said, no. That blew her mind. And that's good. And so we went to a Christmas party out in Long Island. Tommy McLaughlin, who was a Baird builder and a Muppet builder. Yeah. And he was having a Christmas party. So we went out there, and I went with my girlfriend, and she went with her boyfriend. And we met. We talked a little bit there. And then Alan Guin was driving us home. It was Alan driving, and then Olga's boyfriend and Olga in the front seat, and then Marty Robinson and Olga and Janet, my girlfriend, and me in the back seat. There was nobody else in the car. Olga turned around. We started
talking about puppets the whole time.
It was a flying carpet down the
my
Grand
gosh.
Central Parkway
That's
without navigating it. And it was a Christmas party, so it's like we have to get together after the first of the year and play with
So
puppets.
you guys began Flexitoon.
Yep. And we started touring malls at first because it gave us a chance to try stuff out on the road, see what works, see what doesn't, what's old material, what's new, what is new for us to do rather than a continuation of what we did. Like the first thing she did when we were improvising puppets was, because she'd been on Sesame Street so long, she had the puppet talk about, this is the letter C or something like that. And I completely, you're making me seasick, whatever it was. And it went like that. Yeah. And so Danny Seagren, who did Slim Goodbody, was doing Miss Peach. He got the rights to do Miss Peach with puppets. And he wanted to hire Olga because she worked on the Slim Goodbody too. And she said she'd only do it if her new partner can do it. So I went down and met Danny, and we hit it off, and I worked it, and boom, we're up in Toronto shooting 4 1 hour
Oh my
Miss
gosh.
Peach specials for Metro
Oh
Media.
my gosh. I remember some of my earliest memories of your work was Weekly Reader, and of course Shining Time
Yes,
Station. Is there any way we can see some of these characters?
absolutely. We brought this guy home for you because we had
Yes.
mentioned the Paul Ashley puppets. And this is one that we made as a tribute to Paul because Paul's puppets were manipulated in the same way, but we have a different personality in this one. So let me see. This is the actual one who's been in a
Oh my
box
goodness
almost for
sakes.
years.
Look at this. So you built
There
this
it is.
as a tribute. Oh,
That's right, babe.
That's Tito. Tito Swing from Shining Time.
exactly.
Wait a minute, that's Steve. You play keyboards. Are you there
I'm
to
the
take
man.
over my
Yeah.
job?
I'm
Oh
inspired by
man, now
you.
I'm ruined.
The way your fingers would dance across the
Yeah.
keys, I could not believe it.
And I can't even move my fingers, man. It's all an illusion.
Oh my gosh, Shining Time Station, the Jukebox Band. Inside, how big was the jukebox that you performed in?
Well, it's really funny. I'll send you a picture that has
Okay.
me next to it, and you can use that if you wish. But when kids would see the puppets in person,
Yeah.
I could see this like disconnect, and they'd say, "How come they're so big?" And I'd say these were their stand-ins, and they because we kept saying that the puppets were actually 3 nickels high. Is what we
Right,
would say.
because the nickels that we
big?
used on the
Oh,
show
my
were like
goodness.
this big.
It was magical, absolutely. And oh yeah, I can't. I know Alan Seamock worked with you as well as a puppeteer on Shining Time,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
yeah. Alan was gonna be
I know.
with us
I know.
forever.
Funny,
Yeah.
funny
Oh,
story
yeah.
if you want. We had worked together off and on through the years. We'd bring him in to do some stuff, or I'd give him something to work on at home if we were tired. But Shining Time was a fully immersive production, and we had. I wanted him to come and work in our shop because we couldn't have time for the transport. So he didn't want me to see how he did some things, and I didn't want him to see. So we were sitting there
Oh,
like
the
this,
two of them like this.
like Ebenezer Scrooge and Ebenezer. Then all of a sudden it's like, here, give me that. You know? Like, I don't know.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. He was
Yeah, Alan.
he was an incredible friend, and I loved his work. And when I found out that he had originally or had worked with you in the past, it blew my mind. I had no idea that connection was there. And then I see videos of him with his ponytail puppeteering with you guys in your documentary and stuff. Oh, good stuff. All right.
And the Showtime series, the Weekly Reader one, he
Okay.
played Buddy Bear. So he was like the lead guy because we always thought of Alan as great strength if we have a Bob Newhart type character.
That was his
You
favorite.
know, and he has that kind, and that's what the character called for. Yeah, so he was that and that, and he built some of those
Okay.
puppets with us as well. And I mean, we've had a really very small ship. Olga and I have mostly built all of it. Doris Dowling, who used to work for Baird, was our wood carver for many years, and had a couple people come in and sew with us. But mostly it's been me and Olga, and then Seamock, you know, building the puppets. In fact, this guy over here, I built with Seamock.
Yeah.
Can you see? Yeah.
Large eyes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that character there. Oh my gosh.
This fellow?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, just like that. There we go. Just like that. Just hey, no,
Definitely
reach
a
it,
Seamock,
reach
yeah.
it, reach.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so that was kind of nice there.
And this guy was made for the DJ
Yes.
Cat show that was on
Yeah.
Fox.
Yeah,
And I played a villainous ventriloquist,
yeah,
brackish swamp water.
yeah. And I was lucky stiff.
Lucky Stiff, yeah. And then when we did Flexitoon, he became Henry. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I was like kind of a villain, and I put the mustache low on my mouth.
Yeah, so you couldn't see his mouth move.
Gosh.
There you go. Right now, you should be wearing a mask, don't you think? Then no one could see your mouth move.
Awesome. Well, I know you have another room to show us.
Yes, with some more. You
Do you
want to
have
go
to
into
drive?
the
You
other
have
spot?
to. What's the deal?
Yeah, just be careful of the traffic.
Careful.
Okay. Wait, watch it. Harrowing.
A harrowing New York drive. Oh my gosh.
Luckily, we had puppets to see us through.
Well, that was an experience. What you got here?
Well, we got a whole bunch of the guys that we work on, and here's a cool one. This is Con Sultan.
Oh my gosh.
He's almost
You're
done.
building him now?
He'd be like,
Wow.
yeah, we are.
He's almost finished.
He can go. Show his feet.
Oh.
So we're gonna make him a little donkey.
Oh my
He's gonna
gosh.
ride
That's
in on.
incredible.
Yeah, and he will be mirroring a trombone sound.
That's beautiful. What an animation.
Thank you. And here's a good one. It's sort of in your territory of
Yes.
the rubber puppets.
Ooh.
This is the dire
that's
wolf.
beautiful.
On his way. He just came out of the mold.
Is that a new
Yeah,
sculpt,
it
Craig?
just came out of the mold.
It looks.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'd say
It's got a
within the
little
past
bit
few
of
months.
Baird's Peter and the Wolf vibe.
It's so interesting because making a wolf, there's if you look
Yes.
at cartoon wolves and you look at a wolf, they don't look anything like a wolf.
The bulbous, yeah,
But
exactly.
But it's a wolf though. That was a
beautiful.
real conundrum. So I was looking at sort of like Grateful
Yes.
Dead have a
Yep.
wolf
Or the-
character and Disney, and I looked at all of them and I threw it all away, and so I
That's
just
so
what came
great.
out of the clay.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Is that?
Bill's wolf and Peter and the Wolf is just like
It's amazing.
the best wolf ever.
Shut up.
Hey! He's gonna wake up with a wolf's head.
Did the name Flexitoon come from latex originally, or?
No, well, some of our earliest puppets were latex, and we were calling ourselves Craig and Olga the Puppeteers, spelling it with a Z when we first started. Then we thought we needed more of a corporate type name, and we came up with Flexitoon, which are like flexible cartoon puppets. So when we were making our early latex puppets, we really thought, well, for most of my life until 20 years ago, I always thought of puppets as cartooning in 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh my gosh. Who's that blue guy right there? Yeah. The
This
big
one?
one.
Or this?
Yeah. He
The big
looks
guy?
familiar.
He's from the Quarantoon. During the quarantine, in the earliest days, we were contacted by the fellow who produced our Hans Christian
cool.
Andersen show,
Quarantine.
Broadway, and he said, "Why don't you make something for the internet?"
Oh, love it.
And so, yep, so we did. And where am I? There we go. Yeah, my name is Ellis D. To the manner born, I guess. I'm an underground cartoonist, and I like to keep my drawings underground. And Olga's getting off my main squeeze. Her name is Orange
Oh
Bee
my
Sunshine.
gosh. Look at this.
Yes. My main squeeze. Come on over here, Toots. Yeah. And you didn't think you'd get on your knees for no one. But I did. Yeah. Steve, you look fantastic.
Thank
man.
you. I put this hat on for you because you have such a nice hat
Oh.
yourself. So I thought I better be prepared.
See, I got my Grateful Dead lightning bolts on it and everything. Yeah. And right over
There
here.
you go.
Pin. There we go. Here you go, Orange Bee. What's up?
Oh my gosh.
Nothing much.
What do you do?
I'm a baker, an alchemist, and I play the piano a little.
Oh
your
my
territory,
gosh.
Steve.
There's so many keyboard players. I love the mouth design.
know
That's
it.
like a Gumby-like approach, but in real time.
Yeah, I'm always trying to close the gap between
Yes,
what a
that's
cartoon
great.
is and what a puppet is. How can you do that in real life? So open your upper lip there.
Both
Would
lips.
you-
Both lips are
There you
in.
go. Now you do your.
Wow.
There you go. Now do. Woo!
Very nice.
Woo.
That's cool.
Close. Can you close to her?
I haven't had her on in so long. Let's see.
Let's get her. There she goes.
Look at that. That's great.
Ain't that cute? Yeah.
Do you have any of the Shining Time Station puppets in here? Oh,
Just
my
for you?
gosh.
For
All
you,
right.
Steve Marino. Hold on.
We
Let me get it. Let me get it.
oh,
for
I know
you.
this.
Yeah.
Struggling with stands
And-
is my.
Struggling with stands. When you take the puppets off the stand, always take the stands off. Because I know someone who left a stick in the stand, went in for the puppet in the dark, poked his
Ooh.
eye.
Oh yeah, we always put a paper cup on top. If the stands are like permanent, put a paper cup on top or something so that you don't in the dark backstage or wherever.
Good idea.
Uh,
Yeah, that's all fear. So
Yeah.
take the stick out, folks. Let me get over here and get the other ones.
Oh
Dee
my
Dee, the
gosh.
drummer.
Her makeup, incredible.
The actual
I
Dee Dee.
loved her. Oh,
Here you go,
look
my
at
dear.
that. She is so
We had a-
hot. Look at her. Oh my gosh. Yep. So mod.
there. Oh, I haven't.
Bring her down
in
just a
long
little bit.
time. I need my drums.
A little bit lower. Yeah, there you go.
Where am I?
Oh my gosh. Look at that. The
Feel
white
down.
lips. You can't see her eyes. It's just so great, the design.
No,
Yes,
but I
you do.
have eyes.
I always wondered.
It's funny because kids would freeze frames
With
and
eyes?
send us pictures. Dee Dee's eyes. And we used to say she was the girl with the helium hair,
Oh
but
my
I think
gosh,
she's deflated
look
at
at
the
that.
moment. So
That's so
we
cool.
have to, if we have to do another season, we're gonna have to inflate your hair.
That's all right.
And myself.
I like being high.
Oh. So we'll inflate your hair.
Wow, and how did the drumsticks fit in her hands? Did you have? Oh,
We have a
okay.
different set of hands that we
Nice.
change the hands over.
And this one you can put it in.
Yeah, this one's
Oh,
she can
okay.
This
gesture
one
with
is
it.
cheap.
But we made
Got
round hands with holes in them that we can do that. And made a rig backstage so Olga could work the puppet with both hands and with a foot pedal make
Oh
the
my
hand
gosh,
do the drum.
so neat.
Yeah, so that it was
Yeah.
free to do other stuff. So it was so analog, just delightfully analog, right, kid?
Yeah, whatever that means.
Oh, that's great. Hey, how about the brothers? Do you have them? Okay.
Don't have
Yeah,
them here.
no.
No.
Tell me
They're-
about their
they're-
design, because they look like someone that was big into country music. There's an influence there, something about the jowl or the jaw. Was there?
Well, a lot of people have said, "Hey, it looks like you,
Like you.
me." I never quite understood it, but I played them, so it was okay.
And somebody else said they look like Truman.
Really?
It feels like an old time 60s country western, and that's what they are. But even though they were playing rockabilly and everything else, great stuff. Oh my gosh, their designs are just beautiful. I love them.
The whole
Yeah.
band was really magic because it showed how everybody
Yes.
from different people, different backgrounds, completely can get
Right.
together to make music. And that's
Diversity.
kind of like was the
Yeah.
the spirit behind puppetry and music, right? It doesn't matter if you can play.
Were you doing the jukebox scenes separately from the rest of the show, or okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually the way it's set up was Rick Sigelco and Britt Allcroft were the executive producers, and they could not have been better to work with. I tell you,
Nice.
just it was a real loving team effort. I know it sounds weird in television, but it truly was. We knew we were doing something that mattered, and
yeah.
it wasn't just wallpaper. So the way that I would get a script with the jukebox stuff, and I would puppetize it. So if it said, "Hey Dee Dee, hey Tito," I take it with, "Hey Dee Dee, what's swinging with them bad drums?" And Tito would say, "Oh, you know me, I'm just a beat off," whatever it was. But I would change it into stuff that sounded like the Jukebox Band, right? And then we'd see what sets should be built, what new puppets should be made. And then we would shoot all the puppet stuff first. In Toronto, every season except the first was shot in Toronto as well. So that was beautiful. And we shot all the puppet stuff. Meanwhile, over there, they were setting up the train station. Then they would come in and do all the live action stuff. Then when that was finished, they would go to the green screen for George Carlin or Ringo.
Man, George Carlin, Ringo, you guys, I mean, this is just an amazing show. And Thomas the Tank Engine, right, started there.
Well,
Yeah.
the woman, Britt Allcroft, who produced Thomas, brought it to America, and this was like 1985, I'm going to think, and no one wanted it.
Nobody.
We had no place to show anything like this. No, so she was about to leave, and Rick, who worked over at Channel 13, the PBS station, said maybe we can build a show around it instead.
Wow.
And the two of them got together and they built Shining Time Station. And we it was like a Friday afternoon, and we got a call from our friend Sean Kelly, who was the original
Okay.
editor for National Lampoon, and he wrote stuff with us and an HBO special and all that. So he's a friend. He called up. He said, "I'm over at Channel 13. They want your puppets, but they don't know it yet. Get down here." So we figured they didn't want anything like this, you know. So we threw a bunch of Dracula puppet and one of the hobo bugs into a bag. Went to Channel 13, which was on 58th Street at that time, and showed them the puppets, and it completely discombobulated them because they were ready to go in a different thing. And they said, "Oh, okay, can we let you know?" And we said, "Of course." So we went home and it was like, "This is great, but we don't know."
And it was on a weekend.
Friday this was, you know,
right. And we really needed the job because the last job ended, and it was just like, okay,
Now what?
now what are we going to do?
This one is so perfect for us. What are we going to do? Ring phone. Ring. And it didn't ring, and it didn't ring. And, you know, Victor Hugo wrote, "Quickly run the sands of time, except in the sands of time. Quickly run the sands of time, except in the moments of pain." And so just time it. So we said, okay, look, we can't sit here staring at the phone. This was Sunday now. We'll take our kid out to the park. So we went to the park, and I kept running. I said, "I'll find a payphone somewhere so I can check messages." There's no payphone. You know, I'm running around. Couldn't just immediately connect. So I finally found one like 8 blocks away, and I called up, and it was the producers of the show, and they said, "Everybody else said that they could bring something to the party, but you're the only ones who proved it. Would you like to do the show?"
Wow. Yeah.
What a perfect introduction to the people.
Yeah.
No accidents. I love it. Oh my gosh.
No,
This is just
No
amazing.
accident.
Is there any parting characters that you want us to see before I have to say goodbye? Somebody behind you?
Oh, yeah. Those guys?
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay, we'll do those guys.
Oh, man. I wonder where Chong is. He should have been here by now, man. Oh, no.
Hey, here I am.
Oh, hey. Oh, man. The concert's about to start. I didn't think you were going to make it, man.
Well, I almost didn't, man.
Whoa. What happened?
Well, man, I was hitchhiking with my sign. It said, "Grateful Dead or Bust."
And what happened, man?
I got busted, man.
Oh, no. Oh.
Oh my gosh. We got to meet him. Oh, incredible. Oh, that's
Thinking of being on next week's
fantastic.
show.
What's
So let me just close by saying one thing, if I may. We shot a film about a year and a half ago. It's called Separation. It stars Brian Cox, Rupert Friend, Mamie Gummer. It's a horror film. We had never done a horror film, and it was fantastic. And it got shelved due to the pandemic.
Oh,
it's
cool.
coming out in April, and the puppets play a big part in it. It's called Separation, and from what we could see, it looked
Awesome.
really great.
Oh, you guys, I love you both so much.
Nice
Thank
and-
you for doing this.
same here.
We love you, and we love all the puppeteers too.
It's great to have you.
virtual hug. Let's give him a headbutt. Here comes a headbutt. We like to give headbutts. So there we go.
I have some live ones. I know what it feels like. That's good. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.